Hey everybody, I appreciate you tuning in today to this video. Wanted to come on and talk about divisions in bodybuilding, some considerations with each, some compared to others and that sort of thing. And maybe help you make some decisions on which one is best for you. So here we go. So the reason I thought of doing this video, I have a client who had a successful bikini season this year. She's in off season now, and she could potentially do really well in bikini moving forward, or wellness if she decided to go that route, because she does have, propensity to build, muscles in her legs. And so she hasn't decided yet what she wants to do. And we just had a conversation about, the two different divisions and, some considerations. And so I just wanted to come on and kind of give some insight, from my personal experience and different things. So maybe I can help some of you guys out with that, help you make a decision as far as that goes, as far as which division that you want to compete in and which one you like. So I will start on the female side. Bikini is usually the entry point for most competitors. It does have a little bit less muscularity than the other divisions, or a lot less depending on what level you're at. And so, it's a little, the barrier to entry is a little bit lower. And so a lot of people just default to bikini when they start their competing career. Is that the right decision? Maybe. It depends on what your ultimate goals are long term, what you're looking to do with this season, et cetera, et cetera. So some of the differences with bikini versus, we'll say, wellness, because that's a lot of times the decision to be made for a lot of females. So bikini, you're mostly being judged as far as muscularity on your glutes and delts. Now, obviously, you can't just have nothing everywhere else. There are certain things like lat width and, even a chest shelf that can complete a physique and things like that. And then, of course, you have to have some leg muscles, but in proportion to like the glutes, you can't have, big quads or big hams. It just all has to be very proportional and have a very specific shape. And so I don't think it's debatable that the smallest division as far as muscularity is bikini. Okay, so we'll just leave that there. And so the differences, if you decide to do wellness over bikini, is that your legs become a huge focus versus just the glutes, right? Glutes are still very important in wellness, but the legs have to be, very developed and have some size and shape as well in the wellness division. So, along with that, comes several different considerations. So, the first thing, the first two things are going to be training and food, right? So if you like training for bikini, you like focusing mostly on glutes, not really trying to grow your quads and hams. You don't want, big arms, big chest, big, dense, wide back. And you like with a smaller look, with a little bit less muscularity, focused more on training, for mostly glutes and delts, then the bikini division is probably the right fit. There are also some genetic components as far as structure and ability to grow and metabolism and things that do make it easier or make more sense. Not easier, none of this is easy, but there are levels to it as far as difficulty, but they make you more prone to be successful in bikini. I'll just say that. So, and those can be discussed, that's a whole other podcast as far as genetics and structure and shape that we could go into, but I'll keep it surface level as far as that goes for this. So if you like training the specific muscle groups and the specific shape for bikini, then obviously that's the answer, right? Like that's fine. Now, if you're one of those people who looks at a barbell and your quads grow, bikini is going to be tough, because if you have overpowering quads or really developed quads, really muscular quads, that's going to take away from you in bikini. So wellness might be the division for you. And also, if you just enjoy training quads, if you enjoy, hack squatting or, squatting that biases the quads, whether it's front squats or whether you're just shaped in a way where the quads do get the most stimulation, then, wellness might make a lot more sense. And this is from a training standpoint. Obviously, there's other things that go into it as well. But as far as training, if you enjoy training the muscles that are judged in wellness, then do wellness, unless you just don't want to look that way. And then you've got to decide what's the most important to you. So In both divisions, you need a small waist. You want, development of the upper body to an extent in both, but that's also going to be in proportion to your lower body as well. But the main thing in wellness is that your legs will grow or need to be grown significantly more than in bikini. So if that's something that's important to you, if you don't want big legs, or if you do want big legs, or if you like training legs, you don't like training legs, whatever, then those are some considerations for bikini versus wellness. Food wise, this is individual for everyone, but just as a general rule or a general average, to do wellness and to grow the way that it takes, you're going to need to eat more food. You're going to need to get a little bigger in the off season. You're going to need to get a little more uncomfortable as far as all that goes. So that's definitely something to consider as well. And so that's important too. Any of the divisions where you're trying to grow muscle, you have to eat in a caloric surplus. Depending on how much muscle and how hard it is for you, you may need more food or less food. But definitely, as a rule in general, to do wellness, you need to eat more and grow more. So that's pretty much pretty simple there. As far as anabolics, that sort of thing, supplements. There are bikini competitors at a high level that are very completely natural. There are competitors at low levels that are taking lots and lots of anabolics, and that's a topic for another video. But to do, again, as a general average rule, if you want to do wellness and be successful, especially at a high level, it's probably going to take more anabolics. And obviously with that comes more risk, as far as virilization, health side effects, kidney, liver, other organs. So, as a female, you don't have to take near as much as a guy in a bigger division or whatever, but there is going to likely be a higher requirement for anabolics in the wellness division. So, if you're considering one or the other and you want to stay a little bit, on the more natural side, whether that's completely natural or, dabbling or whatever that looks like, bikini is probably going to be a better fit. Now, if you don't mind, pushing some of that, then wellness is probably a better fit. Also considering all the things I've mentioned previously. So those are the considerations between those two divisions. As far as presentation and posing, they're very similar. Depending on what level you're at and that sort of thing, there's a little more sass and a little more flair in the wellness division, but I don't think that's necessarily required. It's just more of a cultural thing with how the wellness division has been, brought into America / developed here and grown here and that sort of thing. So that's another consideration too, but it's not different enough that I would say maybe pick one or the other based on the presentation or the stage presence aspect of it. So that's bikini versus wellness. Obviously there's a ton more that goes into all that, but that's sort of the biggest differences there and the biggest considerations. Please feel free to comment below, ask questions. If you think anything I said was stupid, tell me. I'll explain why it maybe wasn't, or I'll admit that you're probably right. But I definitely want to hear what you guys think. If you have anything to add or change about what I said, please comment, below, and we'll have discussions there. So the other thing